Entertainment, your one-stop channel, Assets Television.
Chief external examiners from all over the country who are vice chancellors, provosts, and rectors. And we have invited 2, 3, or 4 persons from the civil society. Those we believe, we may be wrong, we may be right, have been patriotic and responsible enough that they will take national interest above parochial interests. So we have called this meeting to review as professionals, basically as educators, not grandstanding. And for this reason, we want to have a closed door meeting where we will look at what we are doing, what we have done, and what we need to do. As chief external examiners, we meet normally. It's only that this and it's an at least we meet thrice in a year. On this is not something that we are just meeting, but it also has its lessons for us. What we are going to do is to allow 1 or 2 comments then for whoever wishes to do so. Then we will, having told the press the purpose of this meeting, we can then thank them, excuse them while we have our closed door meeting. As I've said, it's not a press conference. It's a meeting of chief external examiners from across the country, and few, very few. We have, I think we invited 4. Former Minister Ochita, Senator Shehu Sani, Azu, the leadership MD, and Educare. So we have invited this. It's not a meeting of grandstanding. It's a meeting of making contribution, as we have always done, to national development. Can we have a moment of prayers in our individual ways? It was just unexpectedly, it just being natural, but that being human. And it does not mean that we have abdicated our responsibility to serve this nation. It is some people are taking advantage of that, thinking that we are at our weak points, making all sorts of claims. People that ordinarily, you know, your standard compared with theirs. People cannot run a successful establishment anywhere who had grounded national institutions. They will now sit down and be pontificating. But it's not their business, because if it had not happened, you wouldn't have people grandstanding on what they least know about. So I want to say this clearly, particularly because I accepted responsibility, because I do not know how to do blame game. People that work with me can testify to the fact that I do not care where you come from. Until this incident happened, I didn't know that I was surrounded by many Igbos, because I didn't look at them as Igbos. I look at them as my friend. But when things started happening and people are saying, this one is Igbo, which was unfortunate, because we need not look at where people come from. People that are mentioning, I asked one yesterday and he was embarrassed that, are you not a Lagos person? He said, no, I'm not Lagos, so I'm an Igbo from Delta. So, but I never knew, because I knew him as human being who was performing his role. So please, let us not descend to the level of those people who are parochial. I say it for the often time that there with no conspiracy theory is relevant in this case. There is nothing to say North, South, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa. Something happened, but people have been doing something well for years, and something just went wrong, I will not throw them under the bus. No. No. And I say it clearly that those who want to take advantage of that, they are just deceiving themselves. I will just give you 3 examples. On the day that that thing happened, the day of the press conference, I was under intense pressure. The unfortunate case of a lady who was said to have committed suicide was painful for any parent, any normal parent, that, oh, somebody had committed a suicide. Then, unknown to many of you, I have, at that time when I was addressing the press conference, I thought many people had committed suicide. One is bad enough. But the text message I received, in fact, one of them who said, my daughter committed suicide this morning because of this, had to call me in the night that I was looking for money. That no, to treat the thing. I was under intense, giving the false impression that so many things are happening to these innocent children. One is bad enough. One is bad enough. And it's very sad. I will urge each and every one of us to have a moment of silence in honor of the memory of the lady who had departed on the basis of this. A moment, please. May our gentle soul rest in perfect peace. With our service providers who have been here. They now want to take the opportunity to deride our service providers who have been, some even said, somebody who had never been to JAM, to look at quality assurance mechanism that we have here. I can say it anywhere, that there is no center of examination anywhere in this continent that has the type of facilities we have here. I'm not talking just as a Nigerian. Many of you who know me know that I've played active role in education in this continent and outside this continent. I've been president of AAU. I've been on the board of almost all essential committees in the world that have to do with education assessment. How would somebody now, and if we are talking of even CBT, I started it at the University of Ilorin as Vice Chancellor. Even JAMB at that time had to come to understudy what we were doing. We are not strange to these things, but unfortunately, when things happen, some people want to take undue advantage. We will not allow it. Yes, we felt pained that what happened, but that does not mean that we do not know what we are doing. When this type of thing happens, there will be so many people, advisors, have chosen to own up, have chosen to take the responsibility because that's the right thing to do. It does not matter whether those who did it or this, whether they are Igbo or no Igbo. I don't want that type of trend at all. Because nobody did it because of where he came from. They did what they did because it has to. I've seen some other trends saying, oh, it's an Igbo agenda. I didn't know them as Igbos. I know them as workers. And that remains forever. Because I don't want anybody to use this type of sad situation, to now create lack of harmony among the workforce who have been working without, you see many of them since a week ago, they had not even left the office, working day and night. Then the nation must be appreciative of their contributions. I think generally this is what I want to say, and to say that, look, as Nigerians, let us face the reality and stop pursuing the shadow. The shadow is what many of us are pursuing. And somebody comes from somewhere, somebody practices one religion. If we do not face the problem squarely, we are likely to be consumed all by it. And this is not something that we show. Examination malpractice, for instance, is taking a new dimension with AI. That anybody, and it has federal character. It's not limited to this is the group that is doing it. We are deceiving ourselves. It has federal character across the country. What our experience has been. Let us all face this menace and tackle it rather than trading blames and spending our time on things that are more diversionary than what we should focus on. So I want to thank you and welcome one or two comments. Let me introduce the chairman. I don't know where you come from.
Once more, thank all members of the CE for your cooperation and for the good job you have been doing. We know that our assignment is mainly for national service. This situation and the condition that we have just experienced in JAM can happen anywhere in the world. And when you are dealing with technologies, you don't work and expect that you will not get any pinch anywhere. Even if you go into history, those who built the Titanic boasted that it will never happen, but you know what happened. So when we are dealing with technologies, we can expect accidents anytime, but our ability to overcome the situation is what makes the difference. So we are here, and already you all know that as members of CEE, we meet almost every day online, and we always advise ourselves and make useful comments to ensure that we move forward. So even during this situation, everybody on the platform, we have shown our support and solidarity to our colleague because we know its value, and we know that he has shown exemplary leadership by owning up, even though it wasn't his fault or anybody's fault. And I want to use this opportunity once more to encourage all of us to come together to ensure that this country moves forward. Nigeria is a very important country, not only in Africa, but to the whole world. And God has blessed us with human resources, natural resources. All we need to do is to make sure we come together and manage it well. And I am sure that all of you, if not all of you, 99.99% of you present here, we agree that we know the value of our registrar, and we know that he is equal to the task, and we trust his ability, and we trust the ability of everybody present here. So, like he has mentioned earlier, we are academics, and we don't take our actions based on comments that are coming from people who are not versatile with what we do. But as academics, we must show good leadership. As academics, we must show the right way. And whenever there is a challenge, it is our duty to ensure that we provide solutions. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you once more for responding to the short notice of this meeting. And I wish that all of us will make sincere contributions that will provide not only solutions to the present challenge, but even for unforeseen challenges that will come in the future. So thank you very much, and I wish us a very good deliberation.